I said it before, like, after the game yesterday, I was delighted we've stayed up, and massive relief that we have stayed up. But it's hard for me to actually celebrate it because of the embarrassment this season has been. Like, us staying up on the final day should never have to happen at this football club. We're supposed to be in the top six, the big six, and we're talking about being nearly relegated on the last day of the season.
Yeah.
It's an absolute shambles what this season has been. This season has been a complete embarrassment, and I hear a lot of people being like, oh, the win on the final day has saved us from embarrassment. That's not true. The win on the final day hasn't saved us from embarrassment. It saved us from further embarrassment.
Or disaster. It saved us from...
Yeah. Like, this board, for letting us get into the mess that we're in, have got blood on their hands, and it's a ridiculous situation for Tottenham to get into this mess. And they got lucky they were able to get De Zerbi in, and obviously they had to throw the book at him to bring him in. And they don't deserve credit for anything that they've done this season. It was a last Hail Mary which they had to do, and they had to pay a pretty penny to get it done. Like, everything about this season has been a complete disaster, and they need to learn a lot of lessons from this season. And Spurs should never, ever, ever be in this mess ever again. Seriously, like, I can't believe how close we actually were to going down this season. It's scary how close we were, and that shows you how bad management at the top can lead you to where we're at this season. So we've got the right manager in now, but at the end of the day, yeah, look, we can do better than this season, next season, with this manager in, even with the players that we've got, and with the likes of Kudus and Maddison and Kulusevski and all these players coming back. However, it's not going to fully change unless the board really, pull their socks up and actually start acting like a proper football club. That's the reality of the situation. So
we've got to do what United did last summer. They realised how badly they screwed up, and what do? They're all right. We're not going to let that happen again. And they went and got Cunha, they went and got Mbuemo, they went and got serious players who they know are going to, be very good in this league at this level. And look at them now; they're now third in the division. I understand that they didn't have Europe this year, so they had that advantage. But still, we don't have Europe next year, so we've got to take advantage of that, and we've got to have a very serious summer. We've got to make sure De Zerbi has all the tools he needs, because you give him the tools he needs, this guy can manage. This guy is a top class football manager. We've seen that.
Give this guy the keys. Give him what he needs to do to take this team onto the next level, or up many levels, up many levels, because that's where this club deserves to be. That's where you saw the fans. The fans were just incredible over this whole course of this whole run. De Zerbi must be thinking, like, what have I walked into here? Because the Tottenham Stadium has actually been dead silent all season. And then he comes in, the Brighton game, the Leeds game, and now the best of the lot, which was yesterday, the Everton game. Bloody hell, the fans, man. We must have the best fans in the world, I swear. The away games under De Zerbi and the home games under De Zerbi, the atmosphere has been second to none. I think yesterday might have been the best atmosphere ever in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That's how good it was. On the High Street was mobbed. The South Stand podium was crazy, inside the stadium was rocking. Like, it was deafening at times. That's how good it was. So the Spurs fans have really pulled this team over the finish line. They really have.
It just goes to show this whole narrative, this whole season about for the fans, and they're toxic and we're too demanding, and Alison Rudd saying this has been a crisis of the Tottenham fans, making all this bollocks, all this absolute garbage that has been Tottenham fans have been put through the mud by a lot of these mainstream media outlets this season. I think we've proved everyone wrong. I think throughout the whole season. I think, yeah, there was anger and disgruntlement, but look at what we were watching throughout the whole season. We were going through games without a touch in the opposition penalty box, without a shot on target at home in big games. It was dreadful to watch. We were playing some of the most cowardly football, pessimistic football that I've ever seen in football, let alone at Tottenham. It was nowhere near the standards that we expect of ourselves. And look at the difference, just a little bit of a plan, a little bit of a team watching a team willing to go at the opposition and be the protagonist, as De Zerbi like to say. All we need was a tiny bit of that. And look what a difference it made to the fan base.
We've had 3 home wins all season. I can't believe we actually won a game at home yesterday.
We won a game at home.
We won a game, and actually De Zerbi is unbeaten at home. 2 draws and a win.
Yeah.
And that Brighton game should have been a win. Leeds, I think probably a draw was a fair result.
Well, we could have won it if
we could have won it. Yeah, fine, we could have won it. But I have more complaints about the Brighton game than the Leeds game, because I think we were much better against Brighton than we were against Leeds. So, you know, he's improved that home form straight away. Unbeaten. 5 points in 3 games. We have won 1 game at home since the first week of the season before yesterday.
Yeah.
First week of the season, the last week of the season, and bang in the middle.
I think I read yesterday the previous 14 home games, we had like 4 points, I think they said. They said we had 4 points. We had 10 losses and 4 draws from the previous 4. Does that make sense? Because when was Brentford? I know, that's what they flashed up on screen. The previous 14 home games, we had 4 points, and he had 5 and 3.
Yeah.
So
tells you everything you need to know.
That tells you the whole story. It's absolutely insane how little it takes to improve this team. But I think De Zerbi didn't even need a lot of time. Frank was going on about this long project and process and implementing this and that, and we have to implement phase 1, then phase 2, and all this bollocks, right? De Zerbi comes in, few weeks on the training ground, all of a sudden you're seeing some passes, you're seeing some patterns of play, you're seeing Tottenham going forward, you're seeing Tottenham being brave. You know what I mean? It didn't take a lot. It didn't take that much time. And all of a sudden, he's got us playing to a much higher standard. And I even think in these 7 games, we haven't even been amazing. We've just been a lot better than we were. But we haven't been like an incredible team.
No.
It's just been better, much better. And that's him with a few weeks on the training ground. Now, imagine him next season, full pre-season, 1 game a week. You know, I think, who knows what we can do.
Absolutely. I'm so excited for the future, but it all does depend on how this board act. That's what it depends on. And look, I think we can get better regardless of the signings. So I do think we got a decent squad. And De Zerbi,
worse, can it?
and De Zerbi has proved he can get points with a very injury-ravaged squad. So when we have our players back, you assume it will get a lot better very quickly. But to be where we want to be, back in the Champions League and a top 5 finish and stuff like that, we need investment. We need the board to put up or shut up now. Like, they surely you would think they look at this season, 2 17th place finishes in a row, and they say this surely can't go on. They have to get their fingers out their asses now. They have to. There's no other option.
Well, De Zerbi said he's going to be strong, didn't he?
And you know, they paid all this money for De Zerbi. Like, I think De Zerbi has got to hold all the cards now.
Absolutely.
He has to.
They can't sack him, can they? And I think De Zerbi said, only idiots forget what happened the past and what happened before. He said, only stupid people. We got to learn from what happened. We got to understand, why did we get all these injuries? Why was our performance so bad for so long? What mistakes did we make in recruitment and all this kind of stuff to lead us to where we are right now, which was on the brink of relegation? Of course, you know, some players, this experience will make them stronger, but you've got to learn from your mistakes, and you can't forget the past. And that's exactly the message that De Zerbi has been putting out in his press conference. And I love that. He said in his interview, you know, it's 7 o'clock right now, and when it gets to 8 o'clock, I'm planning for next season. We don't have a holiday this summer. We've got way too much work to do to have a holiday. We've made way too many mistakes in the past for me to spend any time not thinking about what we can do for next season. And I absolutely love that mentality. But he was very much sending a message to the board saying, 100%. I'm going to be strong. I'm going to be strong about what I want. I've got a clear idea about what I want. And yes, we've got to make decisions together. But I know what I want. It's about you know, fulfilling that. And he said the word strong. He said, I'm going to be strong.
It's up to them to deliver it now. You know, they've got the right guy in charge. It's up to them now to finally get their fingers out their asses. Do I trust that they'll do it? Probably not. But we've got an opportunity now to kick on. We've actually got an opportunity. And we can see a bit of light at the end of the tunnel. And we just need to go full steam ahead into that tunnel and out the other side at the light. And majorly invest in this squad. 1 game a week next year with De Zerbi, I think good things can happen. I really think Spurs can get back into Europe next season. I really do.
And you wouldn't have thought of that if it wasn't for him.
Yeah, exactly. So, look, it's time to appreciate being back in the Premier League for next season. It's time to be happy with the Premier League next season. But we cannot forget what we have been through over the last 2 years domestically. We cannot. It's 2 17th places in a row is nowhere near good enough. That's why I just couldn't. I felt like strange just celebrating it, because we're celebrating what's staying in the Premier League. Like, we should never be celebrating staying in the Premier League. I think it's ridiculous.
What was scenes like after the game when the final whistle went? Because I saw De Zerbi was running onto the pitch and
look, it was great. The players were coming up. Van der Ven was very animated. Van der Ven, you could see it meant a lot to him, because I think he sees a future with De Zerbi, and I think if we would have gone down, that relationship would have kind of ended prematurely. You saw players like Maddison. He was gassed for Spurs staying up as well. And again, like Maddison, it's very important for him to be in the Premier League next season because of his age, and he's going into the strongest part of his career now, and he can't have a year in the Championship, and he didn't want to leave Tottenham. You could see how he speaks about Tottenham. So I think it was more relief than anything else from the fans, from the players. But it's time to put all that behind us now and forget this season even happened. Not forget the mess that they've put us in, but forget that we've actually survived. It should be a standard that we're a Premier League team. It shouldn't even be a conversation. We now look forward to next season and try and kick on. That's all it is. Like, it's more of like I said, like, I can't even be that happy that we've survived. That's not the right word, because I'm delighted that we survived, but I'm not happy of the situation.
No, I'm definitely not happy with how the season's gone, put it that way. But I'm obviously relieved, and I am happy that we survived, of course, because it would have been just such a disaster.
It would have been catastrophic.
Exactly. The future of the club, who knows where that would have led to. So I'm delighted that we haven't suffered that. But the fact that it was even a question, on the last day is just shameful. That is shameful. And to be fair, De Zerbi, he can celebrate as hard as he wants, because he's come in. He's got nothing to do with what happened before. He's come in and he's done a brilliant job, and he has the right. He's getting a hefty bonus with a lot of zeros, I'm sure of it.
Apparently 5 million.
And he's earned every penny of that, every pound of that he's earned. In terms of that bonus, so let him celebrate as hard as he wants right now, albeit he's saying he's going back to work. But for everyone else,
go earn your money again for next season, Roberto.
For everyone else, it just should be a big sigh of relief and moving on from it, and trying to understand why we were in that situation and not repeating those mistakes.
Yeah, it's a big summer ahead, massive summer ahead. And we got to get business done early in for pre-season, so De Zerbi can get a whole long pre-season with them.
He said that as well.
And it's time. It's time now to kick on. Come on, people. We've survived. This nightmare is over. Let's see what can happen in the future.
He said in his press conference there's 12 good players who he knows can be good for next season.
Who's that?
That's what De Zerbi said.
Oh, you know, how many?
12.
12. So those 12 players for next season.
Interesting. Who are those 12 players?
Well, I think first off the bat, I would say Paulinho, Gallagher, Bentancur.
Yeah,
I think that's three. I'll say Van der Ven is one. I would say Porro is one. That's 5. I'd say a dog. He always mentions a doggy. I reckon a doggy's 1. That's 6. I would even say Kinski and Danso. I'd put them in there. Maddison, 9.
Then who else we got?
Kudus, I reckon, is 1.
Including the injured player, I guess so.
Yeah, I mean, that's his squad. I reckon Kudus is 1, and maybe Kulusevski another.
But he hasn't managed really Kudus or Kulusevski and Kudus.
Yeah, but I think he's mentioned them
because he
before,
said,
though.
but no, I know, but he said as people and players, there's 12 players. He said 10, 11, 12 players.
I mean, just because they haven't played doesn't mean he doesn't know them as people.
I know, but he doesn't know. Well, you learn a lot more when they're on the pitch, don't you? That's when you really learn about the players rather than.
But he knows
outside.
these players. He's mentioned how he knows them very well. Even before he joined, anyway.
It's different looking at it from the outside. Of course, you have your ideas, but until you've managed them and they're on the pitch, and do they listen to exactly?
It's
what
true.
you're
Javi
saying?
Simmons could be 1.
Javi maybe, who's obviously going to be injured. There's going to be so much. I think it's going to be hard shifting all the players that we need to shift, though, isn't it? It's going to be interesting to see what we do in the forward line. With I think Rishi's probably going to go.
Forward line needs major surgery, man. Major surgery. I wouldn't be upset to see the back of Richie. I wouldn't be upset to see the back of Solanke. it needs a major overhaul. We need another left winger to come in. We can't go another season. Patel being our first choice left winger.
Got 2 bloody ACLs in our front line with Javi and Odebear.
Yeah.
It's nuts, but it's going to be very interesting to see what. I mean, because if he's saying 12 players, and how big is our squad? 26.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have to sell 14 players.
I don't think we have to sell 14 players. I just think that's the crux of who he's kind of really trusting in right now. But other players can earn trust as well. Trust is just because he doesn't have the trust now doesn't mean he's not going to have the trust tomorrow. So we're not going to be able to do that much business in the summer. It's just not realistic.
No,
so
14's a bit nuts.
other players are either going to have to earn his trust or they're going to be sold in future transfer windows.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. I think there is going to have to be a lot of business though to be. I know maybe not 14, but a lot will still have to be done.
Yeah,
and there might have to be some players being sold that were unexpected. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, look, I trust in whatever De Zerbi wants to do. After these 7 games, I know it's not long, but he's proven to me by what he said, by his management style, by his tactics, he's proved to me that he could be a long-term fit here at Tottenham Hotspur, and I think he fits and gets the club straight away as well.
It's interesting. He said I don't want to change too many players, but he says we only have 12 players who are good and right people. So I was like, well, that leaves a lot of change. So you're kind of contradicting yourself there. But look, hopefully they have those discussions and they start planning now.
In De Zerbi, we trust. All right. Big up to all of you, by the way. 1,700 people in here with us today. Absolutely. The We Are Tottenham Army, strong as ever, people. Thank you very much as well. I wasn't in here when we hit that 200k, so big love to you all. Everyone smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Let's get to 300, people. Let's get to 300. The road to 300 is on. But we got a couple